Good morning, Mr. Hendrik. Today I will be talking about the three kinds of emissions, which are alpha, beta, and gamma emissions. So before we start this explanation, it is important for us to know what exactly is radioactivity. So as we can see here, it is explained that radioactivity is the process by which an unstable nucleus becomes more stable. And this part is very important. So it does this by emitting radiation, which are the three emissions that I have talked about before: alpha particles, beta particles, and gamma rays. So in this example, imagine a man walking on a tightrope carrying lots of boxes in figure 1, which is this one. He is very unstable and is likely to fall. So he throws away some boxes to become more stable. This is like radioactive decay. A nucleus emits an alpha or a beta particle or a gamma ray in order to become more stable. This decay is random, so we do not know when it will happen. So as you can see here, at first this guy is very unstable, but by emitting, which is in this term decaying, and he loses these gamma and beta particles, hence he becomes more stable. So the next one. Alpha particles, beta particles, and gamma rays have different properties, which are the ionizing effect and the penetrating ability. So basically, ionizing effect is how likely is it to be absorbed by an object, and penetrating abilities is how likely it is to penetrate an object. In this case, we can see that alpha particles have the most ionizing effect because it is the one that is absorbed first, and the worst penetrating ability because it cannot penetrate a hand. And for a beta particle, we can see that it is not the best but not the worst in both ionizing and penetrating abilities. And for the gamma rays, it is the worst ionizing effect but has the best penetrating abilities. So let's go to alpha particles. So alpha particles are made up of 2 protons and 2 neutrons, as you can see here. And protons are the positively charged particles, while neutrons are not charged at all, so they have no charge. The mass of each nucleon is 1, so each of these particles is 1. And so if there are 4 particles, the total mass is 4. 2 protons means an alpha particle has a charge of +2 here. You can see that there's 2 positive particles. Due to its large mass and charge, an alpha particle is highly ionizing by removing electrons from objects it encounters. An alpha particle is a helium nucleus. Now, by looking at the periodic table, which I will press here, and while waiting for it to load, we can see that helium here has 2, and this 2 means it's the proton number. Now, if we go here, we can see that helium has a total nucleon of 4. Now, what nucleon means is it is basically the number of protons and neutrons together. Now, let's go back to our explanation. So as I have explained before, they are the least penetrating of all of the 3 types, and they will only travel about 5 centimeters through the air and are stopped by materials such as thin paper or skin. Now let's go to beta particles. So beta particles are essentially high energy electrons. So they're basically electrons. And they have almost no mass, which is 1/2000, which is very, very light, and have a charge of -1. Hence, they are only mildly ionizing, as I have explained before. And here we can see that beta particles can travel through the skin. As you can see here, they can travel through the skin, but are stopped by a few millimeters of aluminium, as you can see here. So let's go to gamma rays. Gamma rays are electromagnetic waves, and we can see that they are of very high frequency and have very high energy. Now, although this is not in the radioactivity topic, but we can see that this gamma ray is or similar to an electromagnetic wave. And electromagnetic waves are transverse waves. So gamma rays have no mass and no charge, so they are weakly ionizing and are the most penetrating of the three types of radiation and can only be stopped by thick lead or concrete. Now, if you see table 1, we can see that alpha particles have the most mass, beta particles have very little to no mass, and gamma rays have no mass. Alpha particles have the most charge, beta particles with alpha particles with positive charge, beta particles have negative charge. And this is what I have explained before. So that's all for the three types of radiation: alpha particles, beta particles, and gamma rays. I hope you have learned something. Thank you for listening.